So I'm sure that we as Godot developers have used scenes lots of times. However, there are a couple of concepts that we are not always taught about Godot scenes, and they are super important because this concept will allow you to understand Godot scenes much more, and this will allow you to then create better games in Godot, taking advantage of all the features that these Godot scenes provide. So I'll be explaining everything directly here in a whiteboard. What you have to understand about Godot scenes is that they have basically these two main functionalities, okay? So these two main functionalities, I like to divide them in containers and sub-containers. This is not like a formal definition that you will find in the documentation or anything like that. This is something that I've come to a conclusion after creating dozens of games inside of the engine, and it pretty surprises me the fact that this is not maybe super explained in the documentation, or that there is not a clear difference between these two types of scenes. Because as we can see in Godot, we have used scenes to contain other scenes inside of it. For example, here in this main scene, what we can see over here is that we have a main scene which contains the background scene, the road scene, the trail scene, the player scene, the object destroyer scene, etc. So these types of scenes, I like to call them container scenes. So let me just put it right over here and over here. So these ones, at least for me, are container scenes. What does it mean if we want to come to a more formal definition about what a container scene is? And I believe that we could say that a container scene is a scene that contains more scenes inside of it. That's why, because it contains more scenes inside of it, that I like to call this one a container scene. So basically, the main aim of these types of scenes is indeed to contain data, to contain scenes, nodes, etc. Whereas if we now take a look at sub-container scenes, we can go, for example, to even one of the sub-container scenes that the container scene main has, so for example the player, and what we find is that these type of scenes contain a specific segment of the game. So indeed, for example, the player scene would be a sub-container scene. If we take a look at the vehicle scene, it would be also another type, or actually not another type, but another example of a sub-container scene. And here we could continue doing this with all the other sub-container scenes that the game has. And even in more complex cases, what we could have is a sub-container scene. If we were to have in the player even more complex things that we could divide into more sub-scenes, then we would be in the case of a sub-scene or sub-container scenes. Basically, and I don't want to get too complicated in that, because once you understand this concept, you can apply it to anything. In most Godot games, if they are not too complex, you should mostly just have one container scene, or well, many container scenes and some sub-container scenes. But maybe in the player, you don't really need to also make the animated sprite a sub-container scene as well as the collision shape. The only cases in which you may need to make these sub-container scenes is if they have maybe some shared behaviors with some other object, which is not the case here, for example. Or if in general you want to take advantage of some of the inheritance advantages that creating a sub-scene provides. But I just wanted to point that out, okay? So what we can say about these sub-container scenes, we could say that they indeed still contain some piece of data, of course, because they are scenes. And here we can find some similarities between the two, and that's that both of them, as you can see, contain some type of data. But in this case, what used to be contained in container scenes were basically more scenes, as the background, the road, the trail, the player. But in reality, what is contained in sub-containers are small segments, okay, or features of the game. Okay, so in these sub-container scenes, what we have as small segments or features of the game are the vehicle in this case, or in this other one, the player. So I will super quickly create here a table for us to understand this a little bit more. So for container scenes, which are this one, container scenes, and for sub container scenes, what we can find is that both of them contain some data. Okay, so this is a similarity. So I will just put here the equal sign for you to know that the behavior in that case is the same one. But what is the difference is what they contain inside of them, which in this case is different. Okay, this symbol means different, is not equal to. Because as we have seen, subcontainer scenes, what they contain are some features or specific segments of the game, where the what they contain, the container scenes, are basically more scenes, basically. So here you have like a breakdown of the differences between them. What they have in common is that they both contain data. The main difference is that that specific data in one case is features and in the other one are scenes. And how could this be important for you to learn? And that is because at least when I was starting out in Godot, what I was always wondering was why there were some scenes inside of other ones if they weren't actually taking advantage of inheritance advantages. If in this game, okay, this is in this case an endless game, so we don't have many levels, we just have one main level in which the gameplay happens, okay? Well, in that case, we don't really take advantage in mostly any case of these ones of inheritance, because if we had a game in which we had 10 levels and in all those 10 levels we want to have the same player, then having a sub-scene player would really be helpful, but in this case we are not doing that. So why would you exactly want to create a player sub-scene? So in this case it would be to keep the logic and the project organization much cleaner in general. And the other one is because if you then want to modify the type of game that you're creating, or mostly whatever you want to do, then you can easily do it if you have everything in small segments or sections in your game. Okay, that's why here in the game only has two container scenes. It has the main scene where everything happens and also have a menu scene. So these are the two container scenes of the project, but everything else is just a sub-container scene, okay? And also, something else that maybe you have thought of at some point of your Godot development journey is, okay, yes, the player, for example, has also an animated sprite, a collision shape, a jump audio, the same thing with the vehicles, it also has its own components, or well, actually nodes. So what if the player is a subscene? Why not also the components themselves? And this is quite related to what I mentioned a second ago. This animated sprite doesn't really have anything unique or something that is actually worth it to make it a subscene. We could technically still make all these elements a subscene and the game would, I believe, would still work the same, but it would just be wasting some resources and potential of using Godot scenes. Once again, there could be some more complex situations in which you may want to create containers, subcontainers, and even sub-container scenes, but in 99% of cases, at least if you're a beginner, you won't really need that. And now with this you have a much more comprehensive understanding of what Godot scenes are, and with this like difference that I marked over here between the two types of scenes, I believe that now you have a much broader understanding on how to structure your Godot projects into when to create sub-scenes, when not to do so. And overall it is a topic that was not really explained in mostly any tutorial that I've ever seen. It's something that I had to learn on my own. And of course, this is not something that will completely change your mind, but it is something, maybe a more complex topic, okay? Or not maybe so essential for you to learn Godot and to take advantage of it. But these types of logic that you have to understand will really make you gain some critical thinking and some logical thinking, more than critical thinking. And based in all this, you can probably make better decisions in terms of when you create container scenes, when you create sub-container scenes, why, etc. If you liked my explanation, okay, you can buy my own Godot course. As you can see, it's right now at just $13, so it is under a huge discount. Its original price here is marked as $20, but it's actually $45, Basically, the platform controls the price. I don't, but what I do control are coupon codes, and this coupon code expires in just 1 day. So I may be giving away some coupon codes in the community tab of the YouTube channel. So I suggest that you keep a look on them, and the best way of doing that is to subscribe to the channel. And also in lots of YouTube videos, I leave a link down below with a coupon code that does work at that moment. So if you want a huge discount, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned to the future videos. This course already has 30 students, 4.8 average of rating above, along 6 ratings. But if you also use Unity, here is my 22-hour course. As you can see, it also has 22 students, no ratings because all of them are still doing the course because it is much more comprehensive. So once again, both links to these courses are in the description down below, and subscribe to always keep updated because I'm all the time giving some huge discounts for limited time.